Over 61,000. That's the estimated number of Palestinians killed since October the 7th. Let that sink in. 61,000 men, women, children wiped out in just over a year. And yet we're still asking, when will the killing stop? More importantly, who will stop it? 80 years ago, the Holocaust shook the world. It left behind a universal truth: never again. And yet today, we are witnessing a genocide in real time, broadcast straight to our phones and TVs. The world said it had learnt its lesson. But that was a lie. Today, there is no reckoning. Instead, the big powers like the US, the UK, and Europe all rushed to support Israel. They justified, they deflected, they armed. Over 500 days in, and they still refuse to lift a single finger to stop the brutality and slaughter. But perhaps the most shocking silence comes from the Muslim world. 57 Muslim majority nations, home to nearly 2 billion people, yet their leaders sit idle. Some offer weak condemnations, others say nothing at all, too afraid to jeopardize their political alliances and their economic interests. But there is a solution. That's what we need to talk about today. Because we need to be clear, this genocide won't be stopped by charity appeals or protests alone. I understand these things have their place, but they will not bring an end to a mobilized, highly trained, professional army like Israel, the US, or the UK. This requires something else: political will and military power. And here's the truth: the Muslim world has both. Let's look at the facts. The Organization of Islamic Cooperations, the OIC, consists of 57 Muslim majority countries. Their combined military strength, over 5 million troops. That's more than NATO. That's nearly the same size as the combined armed forces of the UN Security Council's permanent members. And that's just the active military. If we count reserves and paramilitary forces, the number jumps to 8.5 million. This isn't just statistics. This is real, tangible power. Soldiers, weapons, military engineers, cutting-edge technology. But what's stopping them? One thing: political will. Corruption, division, treachery at the highest levels. That's what's holding the Muslim world back. Instead of standing together, Muslim leaders shake hands with the occupiers. They normalize relations. They make trade deals. Look at the Middle Eastern regimes: the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Bahrain, Qatar, Jordan, and Turkey. Instead of standing with Palestine, they've cozied up to Israel and the US. When the US bombed Yemen, guess whose airspace they used? Bahrain. Guess where their surveillance drones were stationed? The UAE and Qatar. These governments aren't just bystanders, they're complicit. And yet, all of this could change overnight if the Muslim world chose to unite. This isn't some far-fetched dream. It's happened before. When Salahuddin Ayyubi faced the Crusaders, the Muslim armies across the region from Iraq, Turkey, Egypt, Yemen united under one cause, putting aside their differences and fought as one. The same happened when the Mongols ravaged the Muslim world. For a time, the leaders were divided, hesitant, weak. But when the Muslims' army finally stood together, they crushed the Mongols at the Battle of Anjalut. And even if we ignore history, just look at how the West operates today. When Russia invaded Ukraine, the EU and NATO didn't just hesitate. Within days, they issued sanctions, organized military aid, and funneled billions into Ukraine's defense. The US alone has sent at least $119 billion in support. The West understands power. They understand unity. So why is it when the Muslim world faces an existential threat, it crumbles into inaction, whilst they are united under their belief in one God, one religion, and one prophet? This isn't a matter of resources or military strength. It's a matter of leadership, of vision, of a willingness to act. To be honest, The Muslim world is not weak, it's divided. If they came together, they would display an economic and military force greater than the West. They control 75% of the world's oil reserves. They oversee key global trade routes in the Black Sea, the Red Sea, the Strait of Gibraltar, and the Suez Canal. It has the potential for the strongest army, one that could rival or surpass the Western power. Even strategically, they hold the cards, but they don't play them. And so Gaza burns. Palestine is not a problem that cannot be solved. It can be solved. Just as the Crusaders were defeated, just as the Mongols were repelled, the blueprint is there, but it requires political will and it requires unity. These conditions must be met if the Muslim world truly seeks liberation. Number one, unity is not optional. It's a necessity. Muslim nations must break free from the control of corrupt leaders who serve foreign interests. Number two, economic power must be utilized. The West depends on Muslim oil, gas, trade routes. If Muslim nations acted collectively, they could cripple their economies overnight. Number three, military strength must be mobilized, not in service of the US, not for the Western wars, but to defend their own people, to liberate occupied lands, and to put an end to the genocide in Gaza. Gaza does not need empty words. It needs action. It needs resistance. It needs a sincere army and a strong leader that will rise to defend it, not in protest, not in charity, but in strength. The Muslim world has the power. It always has. The question is, will it use it?